Hello everyone, today we will be dealing with the maternal pelvis. So maternal pelvis is one of the basic concept and which each one of us should know before we really go or move on into the OBG. So first we will see what is the function of the maternal pelvis. So the main or the primary function of the pelvic girdle, as you all know, it helps in the movement of the body, especially while walking and running, and it permits the person to sit and kneel. The women's pelvis is adapted for a childbearing, and because of its increased width and a rounded brim, women are less speedy than men. And the other function is the pelvis transmits the weight of the trunk to the legs, acting as a bridge between the femur. This makes it necessary for the sacroiliac joint to be immensely strong and virtually immobile. The pelvis also takes the weight of the sitting body into the ischial tuberosity. So, the pelvis affords protection to what? To the pelvic organs and also to the lesser extent to the abdominal contents. So, these are the various or some of the features of the maternal pelvis. The normal female pelvis is known because of its characteristics, gives rise to no difficulties in childbirth provided the fetus is of normal size. A knowledge of pelvic anatomy is needed to conduct a labor, which is one of the ways to estimate the progress made. It's by assessing the relationship of the fetus to the certain pelvic landmarks. So, a midwife must be competent to recognize a normal pelvis in order to be able to detect the deviation from the normal and refer them to the doctor. This is one of the most important thing. When we do a vaginal examination, we should be able to detect the normal pelvis and the lady will be able to deliver normally or not, and that is one of the main responsibility of a midwife who is working in a labor room. And if she finds any abnormalities detected, then she should be able to inform to the doctor as early as possible in order to prevent any further consequences. Pelvic bones. There are 4 in numbers. So you can see there are 2 innominate bones, or which is also called as the hip bones, 1 sacrum and 1 coccyx. So the pelvic bone, the pelvis consists of 4 bones, 2 innominate bone, 1 sacrum and 1 coccyx. First we will see regarding the innominate bones. So I have said you there are 2 innominate bones. So the innominate bones is further, it has 3 parts, that is the ilium, the ischium and the pubic bone. First we will see the ilium. The ilium is the large flared out part. When you place a hand on a hip, it rests on the iliac crest. You can just try by placing your hand on a hip which rests, that is called as that part is called as an iliac crest, which is the upper border. So you can feel the iliac crest when you place your hand on the hip. So from that iliac crest, this is an upper border. At the front of the iliac crest, you can feel a bony prominence. That part is called as a anterior superior iliac spine. Okay, the bony prominence which you feel just in front of the iliac crest, it is called as an anterior superior iliac spine. A short distance below it is a anterior inferior iliac spine. If you really see the pelvis in the OBG lab, you can see that there is an anterior superior iliac spine. Just below that, a short distance below it, is an anterior inferior iliac spine. Similarly, there are 2 similar points at the other end of the iliac crest, same as you have in a front. Similarly, there are 2 prominences found on the back side or in the posterior aspect. Namely, they are called as posterior superior iliac spine and posterior inferior iliac spine. So there are 4 projections. You have a iliac crest in the middle, and in the front you have 2 projections, at the back you have 2 projections. The front projection is called as an anterior superior iliac spine, anterior inferior iliac spine. At the back you have posterior superior iliac spine and posterior inferior iliac spine. And the concave anterior surface of the ilium, you have a concave surface which is called as an iliac fossa. Next we will move on to ischium. What is ischium? The ischium is the thick lower part. Okay, you can feel it when you see the pelvis, or you can see the image. The thick lower part is called as an ischium. It is a large prominence known as a, it has a large prominence at the down. You can see it's called as an ischial tuberosity on which the body rests when sitting. So when we are sitting, it's a part, it's a prominence, a large prominence where the whole weight of the body is resting on that part, which is called as an ischial tuberosity when we sit. Behind and little above the tuberosity is an inward projection, that is the ischial spine. You can see a spine will be there, a small inward projection which you can see, that is called as an ischial spine. This is very, very important in midwifery, where we correlate the head along with this ischial spine to find the station of the head, or when the fetus is descending down, we want to find in the labor the station of the fetal head estimated in relation to the ischial spine. And the last one is the pubic bone. So the pubic bone forms the anterior part of the pelvic bone. It's an anterior part. It has a body and a 2 oar-like projections. That is, one is, you can see, the one is the superior ramus and the other one is inferior ramus. The 2 pubic bone meet at the symphysis pubis, and the 2 inferior rami form the pubic arch. Okay, the 2 inferior means below, superior means above. So you can see that 2 projections in the front, which is called as a rami, or the superior ramus and the inferior ramus. Here the inferior ramus will meet together, and that part is called as a pubic arch. Merging into a similar ramus on the ischium, the space enclosed by the body of the pubic bone, the rami and the ischium is called as an obturator foramina. You can see that obturator foramina. You have already studied about the obturator foramina. If that you can see that foramina, where you can see where all the 3 parts are together, that part or that hole which is a foramina, you can call it as an obturator foramina. And also, you know, the innominate bone contains a deep cup which receives the head of the femur, and this is called, or this is termed as acetabulum. And on the lower board of the innominate bone are found 2 curves. One extends from the posterior inferior iliac spine up till the ischial spine, and it is called as a greater sciatic notch. It is wide and rounded. The other lies between the ischial spine and the ischial tuberosity, and that is called as a lesser sciatic notch. So you have 2 notch here, that is greater sciatic notch and the lesser sciatic notch. The greater sciatic notch is from posterior inferior iliac spine to the ischial spine. I have said you about the ischial spine, that is greater sciatic notch. The other lies between the ischial spine and the ischial tuberosity, that is called as a lesser sciatic notch. Next, the sacrum. The sacrum, we have 1 sacrum. We had 2 innominate bones. We have 1 sacrum and 1 coccyx. We dealt about 2 innominate bones which has 3 parts, that is the ilium, the ischium and the pubic bone. Now the sacrum. The sacrum is a wedge-shaped bone which consists of 5 fused vertebrae. The upper border of the first sacral vertebrae juts forward, and it is known as a sacral promontory. The anterior surface of the sacrum is concave, and it is referred to as the hollow of the sacrum. Laterally, the sacrum extends into a wing. On the lateral side, on the other side, you can see it just looks like a wing, and it is called as a wing or ala of the sacrum. The final one is the coccyx. The coccyx is a vestigial tail. It consists of 4 fused vertebrae forming a small triangular bone. So, the sacrum is made up of 5 fused vertebrae. The coccyx is made up of 4 fused vertebrae. It forms a small triangular bone on the lower part, that is called as a coccyx. So, today we have seen about the maternal pelvis. In maternal pelvis, we have just seen what are the basic or the primary function of the pelvic girdle, and we have seen just a brief introduction about the normal female pelvis, and we have seen about the pelvic bones. So, the pelvic bone consists of 2 innominate bone, 1 sacrum, 1 coccyx. So, the innominate bones of father, it has 3 parts, the ilium, ischium and the pubic bone. The sacrum is mainly formed by a 5 fused vertebrae and the coccyx is formed by a 4 fused vertebrae. Hope you have understood regarding this pelvic bone. Thank you.